Welcome, one and all, to my new interview series, Creative Spark, where I talk to cool people about the cool things that they are doing. My first guest is the one and only Antonio Demico,
Where?
the pointiest of
Me?
hats.
Wow!
Well,
It's
the
me.
the human familiar.
No. I am currently possessing this body.
Is that painful?
No. No, I haven't checked yet. It's all
Okay,
good.
I guess it
Yeah.
doesn't matter to you. You're
He's
essentially a piece
fine.
of clothing.
You know when like people are like, plants love music. How would you know? That's kind of like the same situation. Yeah.
That makes sense. I'm
Yeah.
currently having a massive argument with a sentient hat in one of my D&D campaigns, but that's an
There you
aside.
go.
You
Yeah.
seem to be a lot nicer than that one, to be fair.
I wouldn't go that far. But yeah.
Um, let's just cut straight to the start of
hmm
things then.
All
Um,
good.
why did you choose to start making YouTube videos?
I wish it was like a cool story. Like I wish I was one of those YouTubers that is like, I just had a song in my heart, and I wanted people to hear it. The truth, truly, the truth was, I released two Kickstarters on my own as like a D-list Twitter person,
Mm.
and they did great. I'm very proud of what I did with like no audience. But I saw like what YouTubers were doing, and especially what YouTubers were making, and I was like, "This is unfair. I don't think my book is worse than theirs. Why are they getting so much money?" And then realized I was being a hater, and I was like, "Well, they are getting more money because they're doing something that you're not doing. They're like finding an audience. So you could stay here and like complain and cry like a baby, or you could actually put the work in and find an audience." And that was the impetus, to be completely honest. I haven't released a Kickstarter yet, but my impetus was, I feel like I can do a good job at this, and if I want to be a designer and I want to find my audience, I need to go find the audience. I don't know, like there's nothing less productive to me than complaining on Twitter that like people are not looking at you. Make them look at you, force them. So I tried. That's yeah.
Makes
hmm
sense.
hmm
How did you come up with the concept for Pointy Hat?
Oof, oof. How real do you want this to get?
It can be as
uh,
real as you want it to be, as comfortable as
uh,
your.
so yeah, it's like a two-pronged thing, right? Breaking kayfabe for a second here. Uh, wow, wrestling references are like right into the interview. I don't know. I'm doing great. It's like a two-pronged kind of like situation. One is I am an artist, and I was when I was coming up with my channel, one of the first things that I was like, I need to feature my art because it's part of like my package. Like the thing I'm selling is I'm a D&D designer, a game designer, but I'm also at like a video game concept artist, a video game art director. So I kind of want to feature that side very prominently. So wherever I can put art, I will put art. And that's why the channel is mascot heavy. But to be completely honest with you, I was at a place where I was like straight up not ready for people to see my face and to see me and to see my body and like to see who I was. Like open myself to the criticism, or not even criticism, just like the opinions of the internet so openly, and be like, okay, like now let's see what people think about my appearance. And to be completely honest with you, I was kind of right to do so, because the moment I showed my face is the moment where my appearance was, I wouldn't say heavily criticized, but it was heavily opinionated on, constantly 24/7 all the time. So that like I'm glad that I kind of waited to be at a space or at a point in my life where I was more okay with that. But that was the reason why. Like the reason why is, one, I wanted to feature my art, and two, I don't think I was ready emotionally to be quite as open, like visually, with my appearance, and like subject yourself to the opinions of the internet. And it sometimes, like, not sometimes, like 99% of the time, like they're nice, but it is an opinion on your appearance. It's like, and as like a lay person, you don't get those constantly 24/7. You know what I mean? Like, so kind of glad that I did. Kind of glad that I did.
I think that makes perfect sense. It must have been strange to sort of do the face reveal eventually and then have these opinions coming in.
Yeah, it's also, I love marketing, which is, you're cute to know that I'm a bad person. But I love marketing. I love marketing things. I should have gone into marketing maybe. And one of the things is like I wanted to have a clear and super distinctive visual identity. Like I see other content creators all the time going into this and being like, "Oh, it's time to do merch. Here's my iconic nose ring." And like, it's like, oh, is it to you? That's like, you know what I mean? Like, face creators, I call them face creators or mascot creators, I think have a much harder time doing that sort of thing, because they don't have that like super clear and defined visual identity. It's either that or like you're one of the 3,000 million channels that has a D20 as a logo, which is great logo design. When you make a logo, what you want to do is make a thing that 70,000 other people are also making. It's great. Continue doing that. Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. I didn't apologize. I said I'd apologize the first time we talked. I can't remember what it was for. English food. I think it was for English food.
Well,
I'm sorry about that.
some crimes can never be forgiven.
No, you're right.
Yeah, I do not. I don't take that apology. Change it, fix it. You're gonna continue to do beans on toast. You're gonna say sorry and continue to do that.
Do you like beans on toast?
Yeah, I bet you do.
Look, shh.
I like. Oh, I was about to say like a thing that could very easily lead to bad comments. I like some of the food. I think that like your pastries are good. I think that meat pies are good. I'm drawing a blank right now.
No, that's it.
Yeah,
those are the foods. You're right.
I'm drawing a blank right now, but I'm sure there's something else. Nope, that's
Sometimes
Irish.
We use herbs. And those foods are better.
See, you try to fix it, and then you said herbs with a hard H.
I'm very, very English. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Anyway, herbs.
I didn't choose this life.
Mm-hmm.
I was born into it. Anyway,
molded by it.
You did a video on how to bring Pokemon into D&D.
Yeah.
And during that video, you stated that you were going to tell stories about the campaign.
Well, then I lied. Yeah, I did. People think that when YouTubers say, if this does well, I'll keep doing it, they say it for fun. It didn't do well. That's it. It didn't do well. So I didn't do it. I didn't do it anymore. At the time, that was it. Funny. I remember releasing that video. I timed it. I am a massive. I would say I'm more of a Pokemon fan than a D&D fan. Like, I love it, which is concerning as someone pushing 30.
I have an Arcanine tattoo.
You mean an Arcanine?
Arcanine, yes. An Arcanine, you're very right. An Arcanine tattoo. And I'm in my mid-30s, so I fully
I'm pushing 30. Yeah, and you should know that that's sad. As someone in the exact same boat, it's bad.
But my daughter thinks it's cool.
Well,
and that's very redeeming.
Yeah, no, I think that is actually redeeming. I love Pokemon a lot, and I was like, oh man, it makes sense. They're both 2 RPGs. I'm sure there's massive crossover, and I timed it for the release of Scarlet and Violet, best game in the series. But best one in the series, not a joke, not ironic, my favorite. And I timed it for that release, and I was like, this is gonna do numbers. This is gonna be massive for me. I remember thinking like, what am I gonna do now? What if I have to become a D&D YouTuber because this makes more than 1 million views? A Pokemon YouTuber because this is so successful. And I remember uploading it and sitting on my couch to play Scarlet and Violet. Not confident, sure, that it was going to be my best performing video. And then I received a message from my editor. I think that the worst possible message you could receive, which is, what do we do? And I was like, what do you mean, what do we do? It's like, have you checked on the video? I was like, no. And I checked. And boy, oh my God, was it not doing good? Or was not even a little bit doing good. So I went back, like I changed the thumbnail of that, changed the video title of that, did everything I could. Nope. I mean, now it's fine. It's I'm very lucky because I'm a very like what would you call this? Like a very consistent YouTuber. I've never gotten a viral success ever. I've never gone like, oh, I was doing no views and then I got 1 million views and then my career started. It has been like a very steady increase throughout. That was for a long time my worst performing video. I think that now that was overtaken by playing D&D online. Playing D&D online, which I was so excited about, that is my current least performing one, like my worst performing one. But yeah, it just performed badly, so that didn't never materialized.
It's a real shame, and it's kind of wild because I think it's because the algorithm hates it. Because I watch your videos on repeat a lot, just because.
Oh, thank you. Keep doing that.
I am personally funding.
I hope one is playing one. Yeah, I hope one is playing right now.
It is. It's very distracting. But that video, I didn't know existed until like 2 days ago, and I don't know why.
I have gotten my Pokemon fix elsewhere. I'm doing like collabs. I did a collab with like legacy Pokemon YouTuber channel, True Green 7. I was like, when he was like, yeah, come, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe that, and like, it's so crazy. And the comments, there is crossover because the comments are all talking about, I can't believe you got Pointy Hat, and I was like, where were you? Where were you when that video released? Yeah.
So how do you come up with your ideas in general?
It's so funny because like there's a contingent of people that are like, you hate the game because you have a problem with everything. I'm like, I think if you're a designer, you have a thought on everything. Like either you like it or you dislike it. You know what I mean? Like, or not even a like or dislike. You're like, here's what I would do with this. The reason why a thing is titled "The Problem with X" is because people click on that. Like, and if you watch the video, you will see that I don't think I'm a particularly negative creator at all. Like at all. But um literally just comes from like, I have something to say on a particular topic. I haven't covered dwarves yet. Dwarf is one of my favorite. Like I have two favorites: it's tieflings and dwarves of D&D races. I haven't covered dwarfs yet because I haven't found an angle yet. I just have nothing specific to say. They're great. I love them as is. I have no specific. Maybe I'll find an angle at one point. Like, it'll be good if I do because it will mean another video. But I basically just like go on like, what is my take on this? And it can be a positive take, or it could be a negative take, or it could be like a thing that not even negative, just a thing that I would change. So it's literally just being opinionated. That's it.
Respect it. Is there like a hard limit on how many videos you can pull out based on that?
Yeah. Oh, a hard limit as to how many D&D videos I can put out.
Yeah.
Well, I am one of the creators that uploads least frequently in the space. Like most people are like a weekly or more basis, which is wild to me. I don't know how they do it. My really good friend Ginny uploads weekly. Ginny has been doing YouTube for like 10 years and she's still uploading weekly. So I'm not quite concerned about that. I
She's
think
a
a big,
beast.
yeah, she is. I think that a thing that I keep in mind is I'm a very formulaic YouTuber, which is somehow it sounds negative, but I think is like one of my strengths is I have formulas. I'm like, this is this series, and this series we do this in this other series we do that. I just keep a healthy diet of introducing a new series to my audience. I don't wait for a series to be over before I find a new one. We recently started a dragon series. That one might get killed because the latest dragon video didn't perform well. The one before didn't perform well, but the first one performed amazingly. We might give it another shot. Once again, like this is at the end of the day, it is a job. This is my second job. I have a main job, even if YouTube pays me substantially better than my day job. I consider it my second job because it's way less secure. So at the end of the day, if this is not like, if a series is not working, we will just abandon it. Like it's not a given. If you really like it, you better share it with friends because the dragon, I don't know if we're gonna make another dragon video. The last one performed so poorly that I'm like, oh. I try to introduce new series to my to new series and pretty often to my regular roster
No,
of
makes sense.
series.
Um, we've. Oh, are there any D&D takes you have that you won't turn into a video?
Oh man, I'm sure that's a good one. I should have thought about that. I'm sure. I won't turn my lore that I use on my tables for dwarves into a video. It would just, I know for a fact that it would not be popular and people would hate it. So I'm very happy with that living amongst my friends and me. And I will not elaborate further.
I know
And you
you
will have to
won't.
go to your grave.
Oh,
I know that people won't be into it. I know that people won't be into it. I have seen the things that I have proposed, what has been very very popular amongst people, and the things that haven't. And it doesn't mean views. It just means like comments, like people, what people have really resonated with and people haven't. And boy, if you felt like the ASMR twist that I gave was like, if that was too much for you, don't. Ooh, okay. That basically sealed the deal. I was like, oh, if this is too much, if this is like, oh, if this is like a thing, it's like, this is never going to be popular. So yeah, I have a couple. I'm sure that I have others. I'm drawing a blank other than that one, but that one is not happening.
One is all I need. I made it a good
Mhm.
question and a good answer, so we'll
Mhm.
take it. When OneDnD releases, or 5e.5 or whatever it ends up being called, will you continue twisting?
I will continue twisting until the end of time. No, I will continue twisting until it makes sense for me. I also like feel like like owe it to my audience, and I owe it to like the people that have been so supportive of me. Will I twist for OneDnD? Straight up, I don't mind sounding mercenary about this. If it's popular, I will. You know, if the community if the community brings it over and becomes like the standard, I will do it for OneDnD, no problem. I I guess a massive hot take. Nothing I have seen from OneDnD, nothing, any change that I've ever heard from OneDnD. And here's the thing: I have the PHP. Like now, I can say that. So like I've seen it. Nothing that they've released for this I have felt was a bad change, and you can find me on that. Like, if you ask me which one is better, from what I've seen, I haven't seen the DMs guide, and I believe that's the one with the biggest changes. But I haven't seen the DMs guide. I have seen the PHP. No changes that I have seen, I have felt were made the game worse. And either I felt they were neutral, or for most of them, I felt they were better. I felt like it's clearly made by people that play this game and by people that listen to the community. If you ask me, is OneDnD better? Yes, straight up. Will I make for OneDnD because it's better? No, I will make the thing that is popular for the most people. I serve the people, and I serve what people are playing.
Well, the people's pointy hat.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, a hat for the people.
For the many, not for the few.
Yeah, exactly.
I turned you into a socialist pointy hat. Sorry.
You didn't turn me into a socialist.
That's very close to going down a very dark path. What was the inspiration and reasoning behind Kraken Week?
Oh, I felt so strongly that like the TTRPG community has been going through it so much for so long, with thing after thing after thing, and this was truly bringing it back to remember when we were having fun as a community. Remember when like we had fun and we made things for fun, and it was fun to make things. So to me, my take on this was, we are a community, and yet we have no events to rally around. We have no, like, you know what I mean, like we have no like holidays or whatever, you know what I mean, like an event to rally around. So to me, big take on this, and I'm speaking for me, not speaking for Jenny, who is the co-creator of Kraken Week and the co-organizer. To me, it was so much about bringing people in the community up, uh, creating ties between different creators, creating ties with all participating creators, keeping it a completely open event, making sure that small creators could participate just as much as big creators, and sort of like raising tides, like that sort of vibe, that it would be good for creators and good for the audience. I want it to be a palate cleanser. I want it to be a thing of like, great, and now we're doing fun things. Like now we're doing like having fun with this game, and this feels like a community banding together in the same way that we banged against the OGL changes, but for a good thing now. Like not for like fighting for our lives and fighting for the hobby that we love, but for a fun thing. I guess like that's if you like, this was a very long answer. That's the answer to me, is just like we banded together for the OGL and we like talked about it at length, and we together through community, like the power of community, made those changes happen. I wanted to sort of like have that, but in a positive way. That's like, and that's the impetus behind tech, and that was the reason behind it.
That makes sense. Have you got other Kraken Weeks planned? Will Kraken Week be like a yearly thing?
It was very successful, so who knows? Probably yes, but my take is we haven't 100% decided on where we're taking. Like we are playing, like we're seeing where we take it. This was such an insane level of like energy throughout the community that we definitely want to do something with it. We are still deciding on how exactly this is continuing, but it's pretty safe. It's pretty safe to assume that it's continuing in one incarnation or the other. I would say, however, I think that the strength behind this is that it was a one. Like, I don't think that the answer here is what if every month had a week of a thing. I think that just waters it down and dilutes the energy. There's no way of that. So, and also like I would die if I prepared the amount of things that I had to do for that thing. I would die. So yes, it's continuing. We'll see in what shape and in what form. No, this is not going to be a thing of like, I don't know, Dragon Week is happening next week.
Yes.
No.
You put out a whole adventure for it.
Yeah.
Like, do you mind sharing how long that took?
I don't know. I never know that. Like that question, even with art, I've never know how long a thing takes. I just like go into a fugue state and start writing. I know it couldn't have taken more than a month because that's as long as I could write it for. I'm extremely proud of that adventure. I'm so super happy, but I don't know how long it took.
That's very understandable. I always go into fugue state when I write as well. It's the only way I get through it. Have you got any plans? So you talked about YouTube being your secondary job because it's not stable. Have you got any like ideas on creating a Patreon or some other way for people to support you specifically?
Yeah. As I said, like I am very reticent on. I want my audience to feel closer to me. I want my audience to know me. I want my audience to feel like I'm not a stranger. But I also am like heavily against like being like me going over and being like, I'm your friend. I love you so much. I think that that's very dangerous. Like that's dangerous things, like dangerous for the audience, dangerous for the creator. So are there plans for Patreon? Yes. I want to make it a thing worthwhile. Like I don't want it to be like, if you like me and you want to support me because you like me and because we're buddies, go support my Patreon. I think that that's heavily manipulative and nearsighted in the part of that creator. Like, because what you're doing there then is like not really giving someone a product and value, you're making it contingent on them liking you and liking the version that you're portraying. And as real as you want it to be, you're portraying a version of yourself at all times, especially when you put yourself in front of a camera and talk to nobody in particular. You're not being yourself. So to me, yes, I would like that to be a case. There's a reason why I've always kept it to like, I want to have a day job. I want to have a thing. Like, I don't want to be social media only. I want to like, it took me a long time to get to where I'm at in my day job, in like video game development. So I don't want to give that up. But are there plans for stuff like Patreon? Are there plans for stuff or stuff adjacent to that, but maybe not Patreon? Yes. I'm in talks with Patreon, like the company, but I will have to find a way for that to feel like a good deal to my audience. I don't want it to feel like my audience is doing that because they like me a lot. I want them to feel because they can like my content, they can like the version of myself that I portray, they can like what I do for them, like the service that I provide. But I don't want it to be this like parasocial hellscape of like pay my bills. What? It's so gross to me. You know what I mean? Like I don't want that.
Yeah, I guess that's a tricky place for you to be in because you give away a lot of content. I hate the word content because you give a lot of game materials and stuff just in each video anyway. So I guess figuring out how to add value on top of that is tough.
Yeah, I'll find a way. I'm very smart, but I'll find a way. But I want it to be worth it. Basically, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? Like I want it to be worth it, and like I don't want it to be, as I said, like a den of parasociality. I don't know if that's a word, but I don't want it to be that. If it is a word, yeah.
Would you ever consider making a D&D book just full of your twists?
Wow, that's a really good question. I don't know. Would I consider that? That's crazy. Never thought of that before. I don't know. Maybe. Who knows? I don't know. That'd be crazy if someone did that, and it'd be crazier if I did. Who knows? Maybe. I don't know. Who knows? That's my answer. Yeah.
I see. This is very illuminating.
Yeah. That'd be so crazy. That'd be so crazy. Wow.
It would be crazy.
Would it be for what?
I'll beat that one. That was a good one.
Yeah,
I like that. That was a good swear. What's the best video? What's the best video that you have made in your opinion? Not from a metric standpoint.
You can find my channel real quick. Pointy Hat.
I also have to Google myself to see what work I've done.
Yeah, me too. I'm like,
it's a constant problem.
I really like my video on travel. That was very recent, but I'm very proud of that one. I also love the comments that are like, this is railroading. I'm like, you don't know what that means.
I like the digital one because I'm a big fan of digital D&D.
Me too.
2 of my group are in China.
I'm so glad that you and your 3 friends are the ones that like that. I'm kidding. That video has like, I don't even know how many views has that, but I remember it as a big failure. Let me think. I still like my twist on angels. I hate all of my videos, all of my old videos. I can't stand them. The Feywild has a special place in my heart because it's like the 100. It's so funny that is the 100K subscriber celebration, and it came when I passed 200K because I passed 200K too quickly. That's still funny, but that was me like having the balls to like show my face and stuff like that. So I find it, like I have like an emotional connection with that. I don't know if that's my best one. My I think that's one of my best received twist. No, what am I talking about? No, I know what my favorite video is. It's my making a sorcerer lich in D&D. I think that's to date the piece of design that has gotten me the most acclaim in the community. And I think that like if I had to choose a thing or like a concept that I'm like, here's what I'm able to do, I would choose that one.
Very cool. How often do you get to actually play D&D?
How often do I play D&D? I play D&D once a week.
Is that DMing or playing?
I've been playing because I've been taking a break from DMing, but I'm about to go back to DMing because I'm a freak that prefers DMing to playing.
I'm torn between the two constantly, and it's exhausting.
It's not even a joke to me. It's like it's not even like a question to me. I like DMing so much more than playing. I play. I'm like, oh my god, I really feel like playing, and then I get into a campaign that is supposed to last a year, and I'm so done with playing. Like 3 months in, I'm like, I want to go back. I want to go back.
I'm a big fan of 2 to 3 month campaigns because I like playing different characters.
That's what I want to do. I have never run that. I've always run like massive long, like year-long campaigns, and I want like this year. My goal is to get into shorter campaigns. Like I'm talking like 4-6 months.
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
Last question: how do you feel about the speed at which your channel grew?
So crazy because like you hear about people, right? And you hear like, oh, I uploaded for like a year and then I got one viral video and then my channel took off. Not my story at all. Like I've never had what I would consider a viral video. Like to me, a viral video nowadays is what, 5 million? You know what I mean? Or something like that.
No, I get
like,
what you mean, yeah.
Like I to this day, I haven't crossed the million mark in a single one of my videos. I'm close in a bunch of them, but what is crazy to me is, I don't know, like I have never seen, I mean, even talking with YouTubers, it was such a strange growth. It was so like perfectly diagonal. There were no like peaks and valleys. Like, of course I had like better performers, but like it was like such a diagonal curve. I love it because I see some other YouTube channels and I'm friends with other YouTubers who are like, man, this video performed like worse than the rest. And it's like a massive dip. And they're like, oh, this one performs so much better. And it's a massive hike up. I am so like around the same number of views. And my growth is so like basically month by month, I am like 10K above or below the exact same number of like subscriber growth. It's so crazy. I've never heard of like such a boring story of like I released 4 videos and then they progressively got more and more views and that's it. Like I feel very blessed of how it's gotten. I'm very happy that it's boring. I'm very happy that it's safe or safer than a lot of YouTube channels. I don't know. I don't feel like, I don't know. Why would I lie here and be like, I don't know, it was so scary and I hate it. Oh, I wish no one knew me. No, I'm very happy that my channel is successful. I work very hard for that to be the case. I feel so to the question of how I feel about growing on YouTube, I like it. Let's do more of that. Yeah.
YouTube would like to continue to grow.
Yeah.
This just in.
Good job.
Is there anything in particular that you want to plug or direct people to other than the Pokemon video, the traveling video, and the online gaming video?
The traveling videos performed really well.
Okay, we'll scrap that one. Nobody watched that.
Yeah, nobody watched that one.
It's done enough.
Is there someone is there something I want? Is there someone I want to plug? Me.
I
like to plug one of my favorite causes, which is me.
Surreal.
Support me, my favorite cause. I will say, like, I guess I'll plug Pointy Hat. You can find me at by Googling the words Pointy Hat. If you're a milliner, if you're like someone that like buys a lot of hats, maybe you'll have a harder time finding me, in which case maybe add D&D at the end of that. If you like my videos, press the thumbs up. If you dislike it, you can press the dislike one, but press it twice to show it that you really, really hate it.
It's good
Yeah.
advice in general, I think.
Yeah. You could do that. And you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter before it crumbles to dust. It's my second platform. I love when my second biggest platform is like the one that is like teetering on the edge of collapse. You can find me at Demico there. Demico. You can have fun figuring that out, how that's spelled. Not my real last name, but certainly easier than my real last name to spell. And you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter. You can find me on YouTube, and you can find me behind you right now. That's it.
Oh no, I swore.
There you go. Fucked up.
Yes, thank you so. Yes, thank you so much for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's my pleasure. Let's say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, people.
Bye, people.
Mwah. Bye bye.